The law of assumption is more than a manifestation trend. It's a powerful metaphysical principle that bridges both spiritual wisdom and modern science. It states that whatever you assume to be true in your consciousness will eventually become true in your physical world. In spiritual terms, this law aligns with the universal teaching that as within, so without. Your inner world, your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions create your outer experiences. This idea is found in Hermeticism, Buddhism, Christianity, and New Thought. When you assume something is true, you are impressing it onto your subconscious, which in spiritual circles is often seen as the divine creative force within you, what many call God, Source, or the higher self. Scientifically, the law of assumption aligns with findings in quantum physics and neuroscience. Quantum theory shows that at the subatomic level, reality is not fixed. Particles exist in a state of probability until observed. This suggests consciousness plays a role in shaping physical reality. If observation influences outcome, then what you consistently hold in your consciousness, your assumptions can affect how reality unfolds. Neuroscience supports this through the concept of neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires itself based on repeated thoughts and emotions. When you persist in a belief, whether positive or negative, you strengthen the neural pathways that support that belief. Over time, your brain begins filtering your experience to match that belief. You don't just see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. So how do you work with this power? First, you define your desire clearly, be specific. Then, you assume that it is already fulfilled. This doesn't mean wishful thinking. It means entering the state of already having it mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This state, what Neville Goddard called the wish fulfilled, is not about hoping. It's about embodying the feeling. You live from the desire, not toward it. You ask yourself, how would I feel if I already had this? And then dwell in that state. Spiritual terms, this is faith in action. Faith is not blind hope. It is inner certainty without needing physical proof. The Bible says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's the law of assumption. You generate inner evidence before the outer appears. You may ask, do I need to believe my assumption from day one? No. Belief is the result of repetition. You persist in the assumption until it becomes natural, until it feels like truth. That's when it manifests. People often wonder why small things manifest faster than big things. Spiritually, there's no difference. Energy is energy. But psychologically, you carry more resistance around big things. You've attached more limiting beliefs. Manifesting a cup of coffee seems easier than manifesting a relationship, because there's less emotional baggage attached to it. But the law of assumption doesn't recognize size-only state. Another question is, what if the 3D reality contradicts my assumption? Understand this. 3D is old news. It's a projection of past assumptions. It has no creative power. The real power lies in the 4D, your inner world. So when you see unwanted circumstances, don't fight them. Don't react. Just return to your assumption. Assume your new reality is already forming, even if you can't see it yet. This is supported by your reticular activating system, a filter in your brain that decides what information to focus on. If you assume something is true, your RAS begins filtering your environment to support that assumption. That's why when you buy a red car, you suddenly see red cars everywhere. Your mind shows you what aligns with your focus. Let's talk about a key technique. SAT state akin to sleep. This is a drowsy, relaxed state just before sleep or during deep meditation. In this state, your conscious mind is quiet and your subconscious is open to suggestion. By visualizing your desire as fulfilled during using vivid imagery and strong emotion, you bypass the critical mind and imprint your assumption more deeply. Another method is mental diet. Just as you wouldn't eat junk food on a detox, you don't feed your mind negative assumptions. You monitor your thoughts and revise them when they contradict your desired state. You become disciplined in what you allow yourself to believe. Spiritually, this is about dominion, taking control over your inner kingdom. As Neville said, change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Some ask, can I manifest for others? In this framework, everyone is you pushed out. Your assumptions about others shape how they show up in your world. If you assume someone is loving, supportive, or successful, your experience of them begins to reflect that. This doesn't override their free will, it simply aligns your reality with your internal state. There's also the concept of brazen impudence. That means daring to assume something boldly, even if there's no evidence. It's radical faith. It's choosing your inner world over outer appearances. This is not arrogance, it's spiritual authority. How long does it take? There's no set timeline. Your job isn't to make it happen, it's to remain in the state. Think of a seed. Once planted, it takes time to grow. You don't dig it up every day to check. You water it, nurture it, and trust the process. In both science and spirituality, there's a recurring theme. Energy follows attention. Where your focus goes, your reality flows. By focusing your awareness on the state of your desire fulfilled, you are energetically aligning with its manifestation. In summary, the law of assumption is about living from the end. Assume it's done. Assume you're already the person who has what you want. Let your inner world dominate your outer reactions. Persist until it becomes natural. And trust. Your assumption will harden into fact, not by force, but by faith and repetition. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are its conscious creator. The power is within you.